Hi guys, I'm back again. These like daily videos, I think they are. Sorry about that. Okay, so just to let you know, I keep making these videos at night, and all the lights that can be on are on. So please don't complain about the lighting. This is just a bad look. Maybe if I like that. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to make a reading video. Yay! And because it's a reading videos are easier to just script like that. So what I did is I was looking at readings videos, and I was like on Goodreads and like listing all the books I'd read, like and how many books I have left, and I'm probably not gonna make the 50 books. I don't know. Because I haven't figured out what I'm gonna do. Is I'm doing my 50 book challenge, but I started in March. Like I knew that I was going to do the book challenge in March. So I guess I'll just end this year and hope to do better next year. So yeah. So this is the past, present, and future reading. Reading tag, and I guess I got it off of Martha's video, and she said she got it off of Pure Dragon 100, and I guess his name is James. So PUREDRAGON 100. So 120 100. And then so there's about 19 questions. So yeah. So the first one is past, and it says how old were you when you were beginning to read? Now for a lot of these past questions, you'll say, why is you a reader? Because I hated reading when I was younger. I was one of those kids that, like, even now, like, I'm picky about books. I just have to have it a certain way. So how old were you when you were beginning to read? I was kindergarten, first grade. I went to a public school, and I hated it, but but I started reading, what I was supposed to read then. And so the second one is, what is the name of the first novel you ever read? Now, the first memorable, like, novel I ever read was Charlotte's Web. I remember reading it in third grade. I remember crying and yelling and all that fun stuff that happens when you read when I was in third grade. Yeah, I really didn't like Charlotte's Web. It was sad, because I love animals, and if you are one of those people who don't know what Charlotte's Web is, it's like of a pig and a spider and their friends, and at the end what happens is what happens to pig and spiders on a farm at the end. So yeah, I don't really like spiders anyways. I don't know, I don't like webs. So yeah, Charlotte's Web. So third one is, which book got you into reading? Well, there's 3 books that got me into reading. I like to say they're the stepping stones of reading. There's the first one I read in like 5th grade, I think. 5th, 6th grade, I did for a book report. I had to do an historical book, and it is The Secret Garden. And I remember reading it, sitting on my bed, listening to music, and actually enjoying to read it, because by then you should be independent reader. So I remember sitting on my bed and just it creating this different world for me, and just loving the garden, and I remember like being so excited when I figured out that my grandma had the movie, and I watched the movie. And so if you have a like imaginative, creative girl that hates reading, then try to read that book. It's like 5th grade, middle grade. ish, but it's an awesome book. So that's the first book that kind of got me like, oh, maybe reading isn't as bad as I thought. And then the second one is a lot more recent. It's The Glass Dragon. When I was on crutches in 8th grade, I had a book report, and I don't even remember what the topic of the book report was, but I found this book, and it was called The Glass Dragon, and it had a little dragon, and I was like, and it kind of reminded me of Puff the Magic Dragon, just the dragon and stuff, and it was just, and I barely remember it, but it was a middle grade book, and it was this little glass dragon that came to life, or something, and flew around, or I don't remember, but I guess there was really nothing that special about the book, except with the same thing with The Secret Garden. It taught me how you could be imaginative, and by then I realized I loved writing. In 7th grade I realized I really loved writing and journaling and stuff, because 6th grade is when I started journaling. So I just kind of like really got into reading, and then so that was when I started like reading like more books, because I was on crutches. So when you're on crutches, you can't do PE, and there's really nothing else you can do. So then the third book, which is the big book that opened the reading doors for me, is Twilight. I know, awful, but it was just one of those books you couldn't put down, and I read the whole 4 books in less than 2 weeks, a week and a half. It was awesome. So that's the biggest book that got me into reading. Okay, number 4. What is the first memory you have of reading? Well, I have a couple memories when I was younger. When I was in kindergarten, I would read, the fish books and Dr. Seuss. But the first novel reading memory I have is Charlotte's Web, and I was about 10. And I already talked about Charlotte's Web. So, yeah. So that's all for the past. Now, the present. How many books do you currently own? So this is a tricky question. In my room, I have 35 books. And 2 of which are not really stolen from my mom, but she doesn't read books that much, and so I kind of took them from her. The Secret Garden is one of them, and that I've had from her for basically a long time, since I first read it, and then the Venus and Mars book is what I got when she was going to sell it, and so I started reading it, and it was really good. So, and then so that's all in my room, but there's a lot of books that I wish I had in my room, but yeah. And then I have this little cabinet, in the living room, and it has a bunch of books in it. So that one has 5 of mine in it. And so that equals to 40. And then in my brother's room, which is where the big bookshelf is, or used to be my room, it has mostly middle grade books, or books that I just haven't read yet, and so I don't know if I like it or hate it yet. But every single book that has called mine that I still have, middle grade, usually early middle grade to adult books of mine, is 128, and probably about less than half of which half of which I've read. So yeah. So number 2, which of these is your favorite? And just to let you know, I did my favorites before I counted all of them. So I have a tie for 7 books. I do not have a favorite book. There are just some books that you connect with. I believe that you connect with, and these are the books. Eclipse in the Twilight series, Breaking Dawn in the Twilight series, Shatter Me, which is a book from here. It's, I think I might have done a review of it. Yeah, it was really good. It was a dystopian. And I think. Dystopian? Maybe. It was close to a dystopian. Yeah, it was dystopian. And then Anna and the French Kiss, which is a very popular romance book. And Lola and the Boy Next Door, which is the sequel to it. And, not sequel, companion novel. And I don't know, like, I almost didn't put it in my favorite book, but I don't know. Like, it was just too close to Anna and the French Kiss. It didn't really have any pizzazz. I don't know. But it was still really good. I mean, if I'd read Lola and the Boy Next Door and then Anna and the French Kiss, I don't know if it would be any different. So, yeah. So, those are my 7. Oh, yeah, and Delirium. Sorry, I skipped that one. Delirium is awesome. I can't wait for the sequel. It's my first book that made me get into not paranormal. I forget. I don't remember, but it's a really good book. 3. Which of these is your most hated? Now, I'm the kind of person that doesn't finish books, and if I don't like it and I know I'm not gonna like it, I don't finish it. Either I bought it or not. I hate it about me because then I erase a lot of things that I could put on my read shelf on Goodreads, but I just don't. So one that I didn't read, that I was going to read for a book club, that I didn't like, and I realized I was just not going to like, is Gone. And so I don't know. I didn't think I was going to like it, but I did start to read it. And then Matched is the one that I have finished. I wasn't a particular fan of. Like, I usually reread books that are semi-good, and so the Match sequel, when it came out, I was Crossed. I was gonna get the sequel, but I'll show you the title thing, the cover for Crossed. Hold on. Wasting a lot of time. Okay. Okay. Being stupid right now. But it's kind of a lot like Delirium, but it's a different story. So I didn't like that one at all. And so, well, I did, but because I did read it one day hoping it would get better, but I just didn't like I don't know, maybe it was the writing style or something. 4. What is your favorite genre? Romance, obviously. I like, it just has to have romance in it. It has to have, one of the main plots has to be romance. Because that's just, I'm hopeless romantic, and which I never knew there was a name for it, but this weekend I found out. So yes, and then 5. How often do you read? Okay, so this is the thing about me, is I go through phases. So like sometimes I'll read like every day. Sometimes I'll read once or twice a week, and then sometimes for like 5 minutes during those sessions, 5 or 10 minutes. And when I read every day, I read like every second I can get. And then sometimes, like right now, I read maybe 5 minutes a week, if that. I mean, like if I'm like bored to tears, and sometimes I just don't read it all during the week. That kind of goes with the last one. So it just depends. I try to read more often, but then I get depressed when I read, and it's just this egg. So right now I'm in the process of trying to get back into reading. So I can maybe get a book or two done before the new year. So, yeah. So number 6. Children, YA, or adult. YA, I'm starting to go to adult. There's 2 reasons why. Well, I'm almost an adult, and I'm a little more mature, because mostly adult romance, the kind of books that I like to read, I found, because I've read a couple, but they're more, I don't want to say porny, but that's kind of how they are, and I'm still like, I don't want to say too much info, but, I'm a teenager, okay, so that's, and I do think I'm a little immature for most adult books, but I've read some, and some are fine. Like a lot of the free books that I've gotten off my Nook have been adult, I'm pretty sure. But YA, I think I'm just in the process of switching from YA to adult, but I do read a YA a lot. I don't really know how to navigate through the adults anyway, so I do like YA mostly. And 7 is fast, intermediate, or slow reader. Okay, the thing about me, it depends how much I like the book. People say, oh, you're a fast reader, but that's only when I love it. So I put it into 2 categories. I'm intermediate to fast when I'm in love with the book, or like, oh, this is going to get better. I hate it, but I know it's going to get better. And I'm slow when I hate it. Or I don't get something of it, or I just am slow. I'm not really one to skim. Or I don't like to skim. Okay. Number 8. Who is your favorite author and why? Now, I'm not really an author kind of person. I guess it's just because I haven't read. When I read an author's book, I'm not really one to say, oh my gosh, does this author have more books? I actually tend to read a lot of debut authors. I'm reading a lot of debut authors, like the person who wrote Twilight. That was her first series of books. Also Anna and the French Kiss. Yes. Delirium. Her first set. And so I put Stephenie Meyer, the person who wrote Twilight, for 2 reasons. Because of her backstory, how she had a dream and it all came to her. And then another reason is because, like, if I really think about it, she's the author who wrote the most books that I like that I love, because she wrote 4 books. And I started to read her other book, The Host, I think. I didn't really get into it. Maybe I might someday. Okay, so 9. Paperback or hardcover? Okay, this one is a hard one. Hardcover. Okay. This is my note. So I like hardcover. It's pretty. But I also like paperback because I can, let's say this is a paperback book. I can, I don't have to read like this. I can, put it behind. And I kind of like when it gets old. Not like so old that the pages tear out, but when it gets kind of roughly and, historical old. I don't know. But if it has a pretty cover, like shimmery and stuff, then I really want the hardcover. But if it's just like the Twilight hardcovers, Twilight series, they have okay hardcovers, but they're not like awesome. I'd be okay because I have the three out of the 4 in hardcover. I'd be okay to just have them in paperback, because Twilight I have in paperback, and I mean, it's okay. I like it, So I guess it just depends on my mood and a bunch of other things. 9. No, 10. Favorite protagonist and why? Again, Twilight. Bella in Twilight, but only because, well, I have a lot of favorite protagonists, but Bella is what I could think of automatically because I remember a while ago my mom was reading Breaking Dawn. She was like, "Oh my gosh, you're so Bella," and I want that to be like my saying, "Oh my, you're so Bella," because she's just she can be sensitive. She's brown hair, brown eyes like me, and she's just I can relate to her a lot and how I don't know how she's different and she's really clumsy and I'm clumsy. So yeah, I can relate to other people books, but she was the one that came off the top of my head. Now, what's your favorite antagonist? And that's a villain. I'm pretty sure that's the villain. And again, I'm going to do the Twilight thing because I have Twilight on my mind. Okay, but here's the thing. I don't like to hate people. Like, people say, "Oh, I love to hate this villain." I was like, no. How is that fun? You don't want to like him. It's just, I don't get it. But there is one person that I found myself kind of liking, even though he was kind of the bad guy. In Twilight, there's the Volturi. I think of them as villains. All of them as villains. So my favorite one is Arrow, I think his name is. I don't know how to spell his name, but one of the three main Volturi brothers type thing. I like him because, and I'm pretty sure this is his name. I like him because he's always like they'll be in a serious conversation. But he always tries to lighten things up. Like he's like, "Oh, how's Edward? How's your dad?" or whatever. Even if it's serious, he wants things to be light, and even though it's a deadly matter, he doesn't want it to be. So I kind of always like that about him. And I kind of also liked Jane in the movie. I didn't really like her that much in the books. Well, I didn't like her until I saw her in the movie. Because she's just so powerful and so tiny. And yeah, awesome. So, 12. What is your average book like? So Martha answered this in pages, like how many pages is her average book? So I guess I'm going to do the same. So in real books, they're usually 300 to 400, sometimes up to 500. But yeah, they're usually there. Sometimes they're even lower. So I guess like 100 to, I don't know, sometimes 100 to 200, but mostly just 300. That's a really good book for me. And for Nook, I find it looks like Nook books are like shorter. And so they're usually like 100, 300, but I read Nooks fast. I guess I just read fast. So I guess that answers the other question too. How fast do you read? Okay, so this is the future, and these only have a couple questions. The first one is, do you see yourself being involved in a career related to literature? Yes and no. Because when I first read this question, I was like, almost all careers are related to reading, but then I read literature. So my current English teacher seems to think that I'm going to be my own English teacher. So I don't completely agree with that. Like, it would be awesome if I was, but I just think, he also doesn't think I really like kids, even though I'm awesome with them. But I do think I would really, really like to be a librarian. I know that sounds bad, but just like when I'm in college or something, like as a side job while I'm really working towards my real job. So yeah. 2. Do you think ebooks will take over the standard book format? Okay. This is going to be a tricky question. I have an ebook. Everyone knows that who watches my channel. I don't really like ebooks. No, I do like ebooks.
You're welcome. Next time, answer your phone.
Sorry to hear. Sorry. I didn't call my phone. Okay, sorry. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, ebooks. I like both books. Like, I can do like read 2 or 3 full books on my ebook, but then I need one real book to balance it out. So I hope they don't take over the world, but I mean, I'm being realistic. Yes, they will. In either the end of my lifetime or the beginning of the next. So yeah, they slowly are. Like, and the thing I'm most worried about is because I like going into a bookstore and looking at and just like spending time reading and just being all quiet. And I'm worried about that. And then just to even think about there being no books, not even available on Amazon or online, it's crazy to me. So yeah, and the third one is, will you pass reading on to your children? Of course. My mom's not a big reader. She kind of is, but I don't know. She just doesn't that much. My dad's not. Once I got him to read a book, but that was different. But I am in the process of becoming a reading tutor, so I don't have to fully wait till my kids till I have kids to encourage reading. And so, yeah, so I do want to read to my kids, and my mom did read to me, I mean, like most parents do, but she just didn't influence it when I was older, you know. She just read kid books to me. She just really didn't influence it like I want to when I'm older. And, yep. So, again, the person who started this was Pure Dragon 100. And I guess his name is James. And I got this from Martha. So, yes, I hope you have a good day. Read, and adios.